This is the Todd Glaser Show on the Blue Golds Sports Network. The Todd Glaser Show is broadcasted from Grizzlies Wood-Fired Steaks. Grizzlies is your post-game destination to celebrate the big win. Featuring award-winning wood-fired rotisserie chicken, wood-fired steaks, and a great craft beer lineup. Come on out to Grizzlies, experience it all, the host site of the Todd Glaser Show. Alongside Todd Glaser, the coach of the UW-Eau Claire Blue Golds football team, the voice of the Blue Golds and the Blue Golds Sports Network, Mike Sullivan.
Welcome, everyone, to the Todd Glaser Show, the pregame show this week, because we're heading on the road down to Wheaton, Illinois, and we're going to be talking about road trips. We're going to be talking about a lot of things tonight with Todd Glaser. We're going to be taking a trip down memory lane back to the Link Walker days. We've been talking a lot about tradition, and it doesn't start in 2014. It started a long time ago for me, I know, in covering the Blue Golds, and I know for you as well, Todd, growing up in Janesville, the mighty metropolis. And you might talk about your journey. How did you wind up coming to Eau Claire?
I came back with Jim Lynn. Link had just retired, and Jim Lynn just got the job, came down and had breakfast with my mom, and me and I came up visiting and fell in love with the place. So
he sold your mom, and that's what did it, right?
Yeah, he sold my mom. Well, food would get me anyway, so it wouldn't matter, but he sold my mom, correct.
All right, tell us about it. I mean, for those of you who remember Jim Lind, I mean, he was a very personable guy and a good coach. What did he say when he came into your living room?
Just, what the benefits of coming to Eau Claire would be. He was a new coach. I kind of liked what he had to say. I did meet Link when I came up here, and he had a soft spot in my heart. And then Grosclaws, too, if anybody remembers him. He was the one I kind of connected with. But I was real lucky to come up here and make great friends, and the rest is history.
And, of course, Tyler followed you, right?
Yeah, my brother Tyler, he came up here a couple years later, and my brother Gapper, Chad, came up here 4 years later, yeah.
All right. Your first day on campus, not necessarily the first day, first week, your impressions of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire campus, and you probably had football practice even before you had a class, right?
Yeah, we were up here, and the Hill was, a big part of that. Probably most of my time was spent in the library, though, Sully. So I didn't see much of Eau Claire.
There was that one day I saw you there, yeah.
There was a bar called Library down on Water Street, right at the end by Ray's there.
You didn't have to tell that,
Yeah.
You could have had everybody think you were a serious student.
Yeah, I was.
Because you were.
Yeah, I was. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's Division III football, and the tradition that we talked about, and I know you came in right after Link Walker, but as you said, you were aware of the things that he did, the players that he coached, and the stories. I'm sure, Link was even before my time, but I've heard the stories, and then I got to know him a little bit too. I mean, he was a tremendous guy.
He was a great guy. He was a mentor to me. When Coach Halder and I got in an accident down in Ohio, he was one of the first ones to call. He was very hard on you, but he loved you. And I know on Saturday, even though we didn't play very well, he would have been really impressed that, first of all, the band stayed the entire game, and second of all, the crowd. I think it was the fourth highest attended game within I don't know how many years. So it was a great atmosphere, and I know he would have loved that.
Absolutely.
He was always nervous before the games, so he didn't like talking to people before games. Yeah, the nervous twitch.
Laugh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you talk about the band, and now neither you or I can do a good enough job of recreating this, but it's legendary how the late great Link Walker could imitate the UW River Falls marching band director, whom this wasn't the guy's real name, okay, but he named him Dr. Melvin I. Cowpie.
Right.
And he would do an imitation of the River Falls marching band director directing the marching band, and you can, for those of you who knew Link, you can picture him marching around a little bit and prancing and doing the River Falls the moo you
do the
cheer,
the
majorette type move.
Yep, yeah. Up and down, and he had a lot of great one-liners. The great thing about Link is he was very hard on his players, and but he had that nervous like that. So when his freshmen would come in as an upperclassman, he'd do that, and they'd think he was laughing, and so they would start to laugh, and he wasn't laughing.
Big mistake, big mistake. And I'll tell you something else. Now, I've been around enough coaches, including Todd Glaser, that I know better than to approach him like, 15 minutes before kickoff, because he's already got his game face on. You try to get the interviews ahead of time, even sometimes a day ahead. Link was by far the worst. If I talked to him 15 minutes before kickoff, it would be,
Yeah.
Tell me about this offense you're running today. Of course, he never passed anyway, but tell me about this running offense you got. Yeah, we expect it to work. That was it. Todd's not quite that bad, but you do get your game face on, and all kidding aside, I know it's tough to deal with all you have to deal with, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's fun though. You're dealing with great kids, a great university. I think the student body is great, and so that's what makes it fun. And the community itself, I think, is a lot of fun. There's always challenges, but there's challenges in every job.
Now, you mentioned the fourth largest crowd to see a Blue Gold football game Saturday, and I talked to some people who are good football fans. Didn't just come for the tailgate party. They're well aware of what went on between the lines, but they still said it was a tremendous experience.
Yeah, and that's what we've gotten a lot of feedback with that, and that's hats off to Dan with all the things that he was doing before the game. And we'll get a better product out on the field. We didn't play like we should have played, or we can play, but it's great for our kids to see that as coaches. My wife was a cheerleader here at one time. She was amazed by all the people there as well.
We talked to a couple of your assistants, to Sam and Matt and a couple of the other ones, and they said that in practice this week, it's about us. It's about the Blue Golds. I mean, you'll study Wheaton a little bit and see what they do, but it's about turning what we do around.
Yeah, we can't play like the way we did fundamentally, and it's we got to get better. And I think so far this week in practice, we have gotten better, and the kids have come out and practiced hard. And it's hard sometimes when you're waking up that early in the morning to get up and get going, but they've been doing a great job this week.
Now, I promised you that I wouldn't dwell on negatives or on last Saturday, but a couple of things we do have to talk about. I apologize for asking you about injuries right after the game, but Clint Larson's injury apparently is a tough one, right?
Yeah, and his season is done right now, and Clint will have surgery, but he'll be back, next year. We've already talked, and we're excited about that. And we came out of there pretty healthy. We got a couple other, bruises, but we'll be all right.
Now, we talked some, and we'll talk later with Matt Kender, your O coordinator. What does that do to the offensive philosophy or the game plan? I mean, Clint is a game breaker, can be a playmaker.
Yeah, he is a game breaker. We're just going to rely on some younger kids again. We're not going to change what we're doing offensively. We're going to depend on some of the older kids that take some different roles, some of the younger kids that take a different role. We've made a couple, one change that we think is going to be really beneficial to our offense to open it up a little bit. You'll have to see on Saturday. But we're excited about that move. But, some other people have to step up.
We're at Grizzlies, and we're glad to be here. We appreciate all the sponsors that make not only the Todd Glaser Show possible, but make possible the Blue Gold broadcasts on the Blue Gold Sports Network this year. We'll be in Wheaton, Illinois. For those of you going down, it's about 25 miles west of Chicago, right along the Belt Line there, I think, and they've got a very nice stadium and a very good program. I mean, they're 2-0. They put quite a few points on the board. They've got some nice players.
Yeah, they're ranked in the top 25, I think the top 20 maybe. They're very good. They're very athletic. They got a lot of team speed. Their O-line's physical. They got some really good defensive players that can run. So we're going to have our hands full. But the nice thing is we've played two tough opponents, and we've learned from both of them. And we just got to put it all together and get ready for Wheaton.
Well, and that's the purpose. I mean, you want W's, but the purpose of the non-conference schedule is to play some tough opponents and get you ready for the WIAC.
Yeah, but we want W's too. Yeah. Pretty soon my head's going to look like Brian Knops over there if I don't start getting some games here.
All right.
But that's how you learn.
Todd Glaser on the Todd Glaser Show here at Grizzlies. We're going to take a break, and still to come, we're going to talk with offensive coordinator Matt Kender, and we're also going to talk with Roger Steen, who played well on Saturday, so we can actually talk a little bit about Saturday, but we'll talk about some other things with him as well. He's from the thriving metropolis of Luck.
From Luck, and his grandfather played here too, but I don't think his grandfather had such long hair.
No, probably not. All right. We are going to take a break here on the Todd Glaser Show and be back in just a moment on Blue Gold Sports Network.
Grizzlies is proud to support Blue Gold's football. Join them for great post-game specials after home games and the coaches show before every away game. Grizzlies features award-winning wood-fired rotisserie chicken, wood-fired steaks, and a great craft beer lineup. Enjoy a Northwoods atmosphere with a friendly staff and great food. Don't want a long wait? Try their call-ahead seating. Call them at 715-832-6481 and let them know you're on the way. Grizzlies, next to the Oakwood Mall, proud supporter of Blue Gold's football. football.
The Blue Gold Sports Network brings you the pride and passion of UW-Eau Claire athletics, serving the community, the university, and its student athletes. At BlueGolds.com, you'll find information on game day activities and every sport at UW-Eau Claire. You can also follow UW-Eau Claire sporting events on Twitter at UWEC Blue Golds. Plus, interact with the Director of Athletics for UW-Eau Claire, Dan Schumacher, on Twitter at Dan Schumacher AD. The Blue Gold Sports Network is a property of UW-Eau Claire in partnership with Clear Channel Media and Entertainment of Eau Claire.
Blue Gold Athletics has made some big changes and is stepping into a new era of collegiate competition. Hello, my name is Joe Munger, a lifelong Eau Claire resident, the president of the Blue Gold Booster Club, and a UW-Eau Claire alum. The Blue Gold Booster Club's mission is to provide additional resources for our teams to compete for national championships at NC2A Division III level while representing our great city and region. Go to BlueGolds.com to learn how to become a Blue Gold Booster Club member, view game and event schedules, or make a contribution. Thank you, and go Blue Golds.
Business experts, right from the start. That's Whipfleet. The members of your Whipfleet team understand your overall financial health is measured by more than the bottom line. They represent a broad range of business discipline. They can address your critical business issues with a depth of experience that generates powerful, sustainable solutions you need to be competitive. They're also committed to help you get closer to customers, leverage technology, effectively manage operations, and strengthen your position in the marketplace. Not to mention achieve results. Whipfleet, with 3 offices in the Chippewa Valley, Eau Claire, Chippewa Falls, and Menominee.
Welcome back to the Todd Glaser Show from Grizzlies. I tell you what, you walk in the door here and it assaults you in a good way. The wood-fired chicken and all the great stuff they have here. We've already had the bread and oil, which is outstanding, and of course great drink specials as well. So come on out to Grizzlies any night, but we're here to bring you the Todd Glaser Show and also talk to one of the players who played well on Saturday. There weren't that many, let's be honest, but Roger Steen, I know team goals come first, and I know you were as disappointed as anyone else, but did you come out of that game feeling like you had at least given a pretty good account of yourself?
I thought I played pretty well. I mean, we didn't play up to our potential like you said, but I played pretty well on Saturday.
Now, you are not one of the quickest athletes out there. You have a lot of other strengths. Talk about the team speed that you were confronted with on Saturday. I mean, they were fast.
Yeah, they just hit the edge really pretty hard. I mean, they had troubles going up the middle and everything else just because we had those gaps pretty well, but the edge is just kind of what killed us and everything.
Well, the middle is where you live, right?
Yeah, I don't go too far besides the B gaps and the A gaps.
Let's talk, and this isn't anything against Mark Sipple, the D coordinator, or in favor of Sam Cummings, but the philosophy is a little different. You guys don't get as many breathers as you did in the past. You're pretty much out there for most of the plays, right?
Yeah, I feel like more in a rhythm that way as well, just because it's not like on and off, and always just get to see exactly what they're doing. And after a while, you get to pick up on every single thing, and I like this way a lot better than the other way.
All right, Roger Steen is with us. He is from Luck. I don't know if he's from downtown Luck or one of the suburbs. Where are you from?
I'm like, I don't know, 5 minutes from the schools on the north side of town. So.
Like the third exit, right? You take the third Luck exit. No, I'm giving you a hard time. I had not realized until Coach said you've got some roots here in terms of your family too, right?
Yep, I have my great aunt who still lives here in Eau Claire, and I usually go see her usually a few times a month and everything else. Then my grandpa did go here, and I still have his Eau Claire football from back in 1948 that says Teachers College Conference Championships.
That's even before my time, but that 48 team, we talk about the tradition here at Eau Claire, that was a great team.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where my grandpa played. I know he had the number 35, and I know he played both sides of the ball, but I don't know exactly where he did.
Everybody played both sides of the ball back then, and of course that was Link Walker. We talked about Link Walker. That was back in his playing days, and they did win the State Teachers College Conference, whatever it was called at that time. So there is a tradition. I mean, were you aware of that when you chose Eau Claire?
I was. My dad always talked about Eau Claire. Then whenever I'd go to my grandma's house, she'd always have pictures of them, and like when I was younger, I'd flip through the game day playbooks of either when they were playing Minnesota Duluth or Winona State, so I got to see all that when I was really young and just look at what my grandpa did and everything else. Just I never got to meet him.
What types of plays did they run? Seriously, do you remember?
I don't know much of that. I didn't get to see any reel of that, any film or anything else, but I just got to look at all the cool black and white pictures and everything else.
Roger Steen is with us. Defensive lineman, had a great game Saturday. Now we hit the road for the final non-conference game. What are you looking to accomplish, and what's the team looking to accomplish this Saturday, Roger?
We're looking to play pretty well on defense. We're just looking to read our keys, keep our eyes in the right spot, and just play good, solid team defense. going on to get a good game here before our bye week, then hit conference hard in 2 weeks here.
Now, we talked about your responsibility, and Sam Cummings has made a big deal of eye discipline. Do your job and trust the guy next to you. Is that right?
Yep, that's a really big philosophy and everything else. We just got to do our job and the plays will come to us.
But when Jake Safstrom is out there, you got to look at him and say, my ponytail's better than his, right?
Well, his hair is a little bit longer, but his hair is pretty a lot greasier than mine. I take care of mine better.
All right. Roger, you are a student, and every time we have a student athlete on the Todd Glaser Show, we ask about school. What's your major, if you have one, and what are you heading to do?
I'm a kinesiology major with a business administration minor. I'm either hoping to go into recreation, like at a university setting, or go the YMCA route and do a YMCA director and just work my way up from there.
Toughest class so far this semester?
Probably management 340. I got a few tricky projects here and there. So
fantastic. During the offseason, I'm backing up just a second now, but I was talking to a couple of the assistant coaches about a couple of guys that, did a lot of lifting. You all do a lot of lifting. What did you work on in particular over the summer, and how were your numbers coming into the fall camp?
Kind of over summer, I just really wanted to maintain all my strength and just get faster off the ball. Because I have enough strength just doing all of our football lifts and everything else, but I just wanted to get faster. That's what I didn't have last year. I didn't have that off-the-ball speed and everything else. So I really tried to work on my footwork and just maintaining good athletic position to be able to hold two guys instead of just having to be a single block every game.
That's a good attitude. I mean, and is that true, Roger? In my day, which I know is a long time ago, but numbers meant everything. Hey, how much can you bench? How much can you squat? Nowadays, it's more how much you know and how much you know the game, right?
Yeah, it's kind of more just because being on D-line, I'm not supposed to make plays or anything else. I'm supposed to keep everybody clean behind me. Because as a quote from Coach Glaser earlier this year, if I have the most tackles on the team, we're probably going to do really bad this season.
Fantastic. Well, you did a great job Saturday. We're looking forward to watching you the rest of the year, and good luck. Back in luck, Roger. Thanks much.
Thank you.
Roger Steen, defensive lineman. It's the Todd Glaser Show. We're at Grizzlies, and we'll take a break and be back with the third segment of the Todd Glaser Show right after this.
Grizzlies is proud to support Blue Gold's football. Join them for great post-game specials after home games and the coaches show before every away game. Grizzlies features award-winning wood-fired rotisserie chicken, wood-fired steaks, and a great craft beer lineup. Enjoy a Northwoods atmosphere with a friendly staff and great food. Don't want a long wait? Try their call-ahead seating. Call them at 715-832-6481 and let them know you're on the way. Grizzlies, next to the Oakwood Mall, proud supporter of Blue Gold's football.
In Wisconsin, there's one public university with a national reputation for providing a high-quality education and an affordable price.
A university where students learn one-on-one with great faculty in the classroom and receive hands-on experience through research and internships.
A place for students who are dreamers and doers.
And a university where students graduate with the lowest student debt and great-paying jobs.
Think you know where?
The University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire.
Discover your power of and at uwec.edu.
Hey folks, it's the Gordy's Guru here. Gordy's County Market is a proud supporter of UW-Eau Claire Blue Gold football. With every smash of the pads and every touchdown pass caught, we know that success takes determination, hard work, and lots of time. That's why we want to take this moment and say, go get them, Blue Golds. Stay healthy, stay true, and have a great season. This message brought to you by your friends at Gordy's County Market with 3 convenient grocery and gas locations in Eau Claire. Gordy's County Market, pleased to back Blue Gold athletes, coaches, and teams.
Sports fans know about tradition and pride, and here in western Wisconsin, the Leader Telegram has a proud tradition of valuing local sports coverage. Their dedicated sports staff knows what fans want. The Leader Telegram sports section, in print and online, provides the most comprehensive coverage of local high school and college sports anywhere. Find the scores, the stats, and the stories you need, all in western Wisconsin's leading paper, the Leader Telegram.
Grizzlies, our third Todd Glaser Show of the 2014 season. A little bit of a different twist this week. We're talking before the trip down to Wheaton, Illinois. A road trip, the second one of the season for UW-Eau Claire, and the third straight nationally ranked team they're playing, Wheaton, Illinois, the Thunder. not down under, but down by Chicago this coming Saturday. And Matt Kender joins us. Matt is the offensive coordinator. We're going to talk philosophy a little bit with Matt and about this offense. But first, part of what we're doing today is letting people know about the journey to becoming a Blue Gold. So tell us how you got here to Eau Claire.
I actually got here right out of college. This was my first stop. So pretty fortunate. I wanted to get back in Wisconsin, and Eau Claire was a place that was willing to have me. And lucky enough to get hired on full-time. I've been here 12 years now, so I'm pretty excited about it, and love Eau Claire, love the community. You know, you see an atmosphere like you see on Saturday. It's a great place to be.
Now, you started out, were you the O-line coach right away, or what did you start as?
I started as tight ends for my first year, and then I was O-line after that.
And graduated to offensive coordinator, and I know you love playing with that offense, and you know, you work well with Todd Glaser, of course, and he has obviously a lot of input into it too. Mm-hmm. Everybody looks at what everybody else does. You look at Oregon, you look at, you know, Platteville for that matter, and look at what they do, and maybe not imitate it, but draw from it. Tell us about who you looked at and some of the things you learned.
You know, one of the things we wanted to do is, like a year ago when we were looking at stuff, we're like, well, we're getting some heavy boxes, and we want to make sure the teams had to play honestly against us. So that's why we added some of the bubble screen stuff. We did a little bit of that a year ago, but we just expanded it a little bit more. And it's just a way to keep teams honest. It doesn't mean we're going to throw a bubble every play, but it's an option for us where we could hand it off, we could throw, and it just depends on what the defense is giving us.
Well, and you described it to me, and from what I've seen so far, it's not totally this, but it's kind of a ball control passing game.
Yeah, well, when we throw it out on the short bubble screen, that's really a run. That's a run play for us. Where St. Thomas, it looked like we threw 50 sometimes. Well, 10 of those were run plays.
Right.
And so that part looked short. You know, one of the things we were able to hit week one a little bit more than we were week two was some of the longer stuff. And we got to be able to extend and stretch the field a little bit more.
All right, we said we wouldn't dwell on Saturday, but because of what we're talking about, I've got to ask you, losing Clint Larson is tough. Does it change what you're trying to do and how you configure this offense?
I don't think any one player is going to kill you. Clint's obviously a great athlete, though, and he brings a lot to the table for us. And you saw that last season with some of the explosive plays and that stuff. So, in the back of your mind, does it take one of your go-to guys when you're in a bind away? Yeah, it does, but we got to move on, and other guys have to step up, and they will.
All right. You're the offensive coordinator, but I know you still spend a lot of time with the O-lineman, Matt. Grade this O-line. You've moved some guys around, and it's so important to get that cohesion. Grade them so far for me.
Well, Coach Halder's the O-line coach now, and he's been the past couple of years, and he's done a great job. And with this, we lost a kid who was an All-American. Yeah, Paul, and we had Lars Nelson, who we moved into center. Lars is a very physical player. I feel like we got a couple of younger guys that have moved in. We have to still gel a little bit. They're close. We didn't struggle necessarily because of the O-line on Saturday. I didn't feel like. I think they're constantly improving. They're doing a good job. Everybody needs to improve a little bit more, though.
Matt Kender is with us on the Todd Glaser Show. A couple of more things, and you know, we've talked about it so much. As tough as things were Saturday, the atmosphere was tremendous. How did you respond when you saw the band and that great crowd out there?
Everything from the beginning was unbelievable. You know, when we walked through the crowd, the support, it was pretty cool. It was one of those where it's like, yeah, this is if we can get this every week, you know, while that one wasn't a great week for us, if we can get that every week, that's going to be unbelievable help for us.
You'll get them back. All right, yeah. You go home after that game. I don't know if you have a dog to kick or not, but when you do have a chance to kick back, what do you do then?
You know, outside of the season, I'm more of an outdoors type guy, but can't do that right now, obviously. So I love my folks live in northern Wisconsin now, so I love getting away a little bit, and this is another reason I love Eau Claire, because of just the outdoors type area too.
Matt Kender, thank you so much. We're glad to have you running the offense, and better things ahead for the UW-Eau Claire Blue Golds because of Matt Kender. Thanks. We appreciate Matt Kender coming on, and by the way, we appreciate Todd Glaser for helping to set up, having the players on and the assistant coaches. You know, we should say a word about your assistants, and we don't have time to mention them all by name, and I'm not sure they deserve it, but talk about what they contribute.
Well, they do a great job, full-time to part-time to volunteers. Conrad Jackson, he opens up the Carson Park every morning, and he's a volunteer, and he does all of our equipment. So they're hopefully at some point in time throughout the season we'll be able to hear from everybody because they do a great job.
And you are a coach, I know, who, obviously you're the head coach, you're the head man, the buck stops here, but you do delegate some things, right?
Yeah, definitely. We have to. I think nowadays, especially with recruiting, like Coach Haller does our coordinating of our recruiting. Everybody's got their role, just like on our football team, and you need guys like that.
All right, you mentioned recruiting, and I told you we were going to talk a little bit about high school. Now, we're both aware of the NCAA regs. We can't talk about specific players and so forth, but talk about how you go about recruiting and what you look for in a guy who you want to become a Blue Gold.
Well, we want a good athlete, but the first thing we're going to talk to his coach about what kind of character he has. Academics are very strong here at Eau Claire. We just can't get everybody in, so we want them to be good students. It wasn't like when Mike Rajak came to school here, you could get anybody in. But it's a lot of different things that have that character-wise, and then if they fit in what we're doing. Some kids aren't going to fit in what we're doing, scheme-wise. So there's a lot that goes into it. Our coaches do a good job of evaluating, and it's never ending.
Now, you mentioned Jim Lind coming into your living room. You've been on the other end of it now and been in a kid's living room, and as you mentioned, Ben too. But what do you say to a young man to convince him to become a Blue Gold?
Well, I think we want kids that want to come to school here and to get an education from here, first and foremost. Because it's not going to work if they're just coming here for football, or they're coming here because of one specific coach, or because of the offense you run or the defense. We want them to come because they want to get an education here. And I think that's what we're really after with all those kids, because I think they stick, and it means a lot to them.
All right. Now, the other part of it is watching kids and evaluating, and I know you do a lot with, they send recruiting tapes and stuff these days, but you still go to a game occasionally. What are you looking for when you're watching a high school game?
You want to see the speed of the kid, or how they run, or what kind of feet they have, but you're really looking at how they conduct themselves throughout the game. Are they a leader? Are they talking to their teammates? When they come to the bench, are they sitting by themselves? Are they with their teammates? Are they taking coaching? All this type of things.
Coach Todd Glaser is with us. It is the Todd Glaser Show, and this guy is an upfront guy. He was with us on Saturday night after the tough loss to St. John's, and obviously a lot of season ahead. You took part of the responsibility Saturday.
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, you got to look. We want accountability. That's one of the things we want when we're in our program. And I don't, there's things that I have to do better on the practice field. There's things that I thought we were in the locker room too long before the game. That would be changed. We're going to look. We're way more detail oriented. We cut some things out scheme-wise. So you're always evaluating yourself.
Plus, that pregame radio interview set the wrong tone.
I think that's what was the problem.
It really was. Well, we'll try to do a better job next week as we head down to Wheaton, Illinois. Last question, I'll let you go. We've been talking about tradition. We talked about Jim Lind. We talked about Link Walker. Bob Nielsen, of course, had some great successes here and right on down the line. What does it take to take that tradition and build it to the next level?
I think it takes everybody. It takes everybody. It takes the community, it takes the school, it takes administration, it takes professors, it takes the band, it takes everybody. And we have everything in place here. And I think there's going to be great things happening here. The administration is I'm very excited to be working for the administration we have now with Dan and our chancellor.
Did he buy the last round? Is that what you're saying?
Not yet, but he will now.
Okay.
But it is.
You're buying a round. We just thought we'd let you know.
That's always the way it goes.
No, all kidding aside, we have been impressed with the way things have gone. And yeah, fourth biggest crowd in history is something to build on. And as I said, a lot of those people said, you know what, we'll be back.
Yeah, and I hope they are. And I think we'll give them a show. Our kids are going to work hard. And we're excited. There's a lot of season left. And we're playing very good teams. We've just played 2 top 10 teams in the country. And one we played pretty well, and the other one we didn't. And now our kids know, because that's what we're going to see in our league. And they have to come out and play well every time.
All right. Wheaton, Illinois. It's 1 o'clock Saturday on the Blue Gold Sports Network. Pregame at 12:45. We'll be with you then. We'll be with you again next week for the Todd Glaser Show here at Grizzlies. Thank everybody for coming out. And Todd, thanks so much for taking time.
Thanks, Todd.
Mike Sullivan saying good night, and we'll be with you Saturday for the Blue Gold Game.
This is the Todd Glaser Show on the Blue Golds Sports Network. The Todd Glaser Show is broadcasted from Grizzlies Wood-Fired Steaks. Grizzlies is your post-game destination to celebrate the big win. Featuring award-winning wood-fired rotisserie chicken, wood-fired steaks, and a great craft beer lineup. Come on out to Grizzlies, experience it all, the host site of the Todd Glaser Show. This has been a presentation of the Blue Golds Sports Network and Clear Channel Media and Entertainment of Eau Claire. For more information on the Blue Golds, go to bluegolds.com.